All right, all right. It says we are live. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Got a fun one for you. Hopefully, you'll think that it's fun. Looks like we have Pistol Pete, Lynn Holt. I think that's the only ones that were in here so far. I don't even actually see anybody on the chat. I might be the only one. It doesn't show that anybody else is out there yet. So it is 7 o'clock, but I'm sure hopefully people will start jumping in. But, I got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about tonight. Got some questions that I was asked, and I've got some announcements that I would like to make, but I don't even see anybody on here. So hopefully, it says there's no viewers. So hopefully maybe it's wrong or something. I don't know, but I am in Oklahoma this week, and had it set up to be in a different part, but something happened, and now I'm in Oklahoma City. So there's Richard Ship. How are you, sir? If y'all are on, let me know that you're on. I know Richard's on here, but if Lynn and Pistol Pete is out there, put a comment or just say hello or something in the thing below. For some reason, this thing might not be tracking people that are on here because it's saying 0 and Richard's on here and it's still saying 0. So I just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. So if y'all could just type something down there to let me know that y'all are on here. But yeah, it was very interesting. I was originally scheduled to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, but and I went out through Tulsa, and I was going to go to Owashu, or however you say it, and they actually had a tornado that hit out there Saturday night. So I already had my reservations for the hotel. Hotel didn't call and cancel. I personally don't keep up with every part of Oklahoma and didn't know that that particular area got hit. I got out there and was working the area and all that stuff, and everything seemed okay. But then I started going to different areas, and I noticed there was like convenience stores were closed that are normally 24 hours, and it was looking like ghost towns in a lot of the area, and I was just like, something's not right. So um, I went to check into the hotel to throw all my junk in there, and sure enough, the power was out. They said, "Oh, we don't have a reservation for you. We don't have any power." So anyway, I tried to find more reservations, couldn't, um, because people had no power. So if there was a hotel open where they could have AC because it was hot, they were in the hotels. Now all of a sudden it says we have 16 people, so I don't know what the heck's going on, but it showed 0 just a second ago. But anyway, so I went and was checking some of the other hotels, and they didn't have any availability. Even some of the hotels out there got hit by the tornado, and like some of the bricks on the front were all ripped off, but they were still open. Or some of those were open and they were full, and then some of them had tarps over the roofs of the hotel, and some of them were still open. Some of them didn't even have tarps; they just had ripped open roofs. Trees are everywhere. I mean, it was just a mess. And I started thinking, while I'm going around trying to find a hotel and stuff, I was like, man, this sucks. What am I going to do? And then I noticed a lot of, like I said, the convenience stores were closed, gas stations were closed. And I looked down at my gas gauge and I was like, well, shit, I only have a quarter tank of fuel. So I need to get some fuel. So I started driving around to different gas stations, closed, 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 closed. Um, Finally found one. There was a whole bunch of people there. Pulled up, got in line. People were even walking up to the pumps with gas cans in their hand, filling up the gas cans. Um, and so it was my next turn in line. There was a guy with gas cans. A truck drove off, and he was standing there with his gas cans. He went up, started pumping his gas into his gas cans. Another truck pulled up behind me that was towing another car. All they had was premium unleaded. They had no regular unleaded, no diesel, just premium unleaded. So, I was waiting for the guy to fill his gas cans. Well, the jackass behind me started honking, telling me to pull up, like pull up to the pump. Well, I'm not going to run over the guy with the gas cans. I guess he couldn't see him because my truck's big and he was in front of my truck kind of at an angle. So he kept honking and honking and being a big jackass. So I got out of the truck. I was not happy. I got out of the truck and I walked to the back and I said, well, I can't say what I said, but it was basically, you stupid, you know, person. Um, there's a guy up there with gas cans filling his gas cans up. And he was like, oh, oh, oh. I mean, but everybody was honking, screaming. I'm talking about at all the other pumps. It was just chaos. And it was literally like Mad Max. I mean, grocery stores were closed because I guess they had no power. Um, Everybody was freaking out. People were running around screaming and hollering, honking at everybody. All the street lights were out. So it was basically, you pull up at a four-way intersection and everybody's having to stop. It was that kind of shit. It was like the apocalypse. It was crazy. And so I started checking as far as hotels. And the only thing that I could find was in Oklahoma City, which is 2 hours. It was about 2 hours away from where I was. So I had to drive, just go ahead and call it quits out there and just go into Oklahoma City. So that's where I am. Hello, Floridian. Hello, Clyde. Reloading from the hot pot. It was out in Awashi. I never can't say it right. It's Awashi, Oklahoma. It's out towards past Tulsa. What's up, Bald and Curious? A-dubs. Floridian, but it was crazy. I mean, you know, people were like driving through ditches trying to get to gas stations because I guess they were driving down the highway, and if they saw a gas station that they found was open, they were just taking, going down the wrong side of the road, and I was just like, holy shit. But yeah, I almost got in a fight. I mean, people were just completely losing their mind. So I was just thinking, this is, imagine if something, of course that's bad. I've been in plenty of tornado or a few tornadoes. They're never fun. Um, but the aftermath of trying to deal with all this stuff. And I know people say, "Oh, well, I'm prepared. I have all this food and I have all this gas and I have all this stuff stored up." Blah blah blah. Gas, depending on how you store it, can only last so long. With the ethanol in it, it can gel up and turn to goo. Um, and with food, of course, you can store it, but if you have no electricity, you can have dry food. But yeah, it was a freaking mess. Hello, Pranic, how are you? And also, something else that blows my mind, completely blows my mind, and y'all are going to have to follow me on this. But if you think about it, it's been about 2 or 3 months, and SIG hasn't released a new gun. They were having them come out bi-weekly. They were releasing new guns bi-weekly, but it's been about 2 or 3 months, and the last gun that came out is a 365 tactical. But I'm just joking. But if you think about it, they were coming out with a gun like every month or every 2 weeks, and I think it's been maybe 2 or 3 months, or maybe 4 at the most. But since they released that, but oh, Clyde, here we go. Clyde finally got the 30 caliber 308 club. Waiting on my 1 to 10 X to come in. Awesome, congratulations, man. What's up, Screaming Skulls? How are you? Keith Gregory. What are my thoughts on the sub that's lost trying to see the Titanic? Think they will find them? Man, that is crazy. Um, it's not looking too good. I'm not a sub person. I don't know that much about subs. Airplanes and cars is my gig. More cars, actually, now. I haven't been out of airplanes for a long time, but that's not a good thing. I don't know if they automatic, if they just pop up. I don't know if something's grabbed that thing. It's the size of a minivan. So you're looking in the ocean, flying over, looking for something the size of a minivan in an ocean. That's, I mean, and I'm not trying to say that it's not funny, but man, that's going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. And then with sonar, for noises, depending on how deep they are, if they're trapped under a bunch of, like metal or something where the Titanic is, that's going to be difficult. I don't know, man. You know, hopefully they find them, but I don't know. I think the longer it goes on, I think the harder and harder it's going to be to find them. Hello, Zeus. Hello, Brian. How are you? Keith Gregory. Well, and that's true. I mean, they might find them, but they might not be with us. Yeah, they said that I guess they have some sort of another rescue thing they can send down there. It's unmanned, but it's remote and it has arms. So if they're trapped, they could try to, you know, pull them out of whatever they're in and see if they can get it to come back up. But I don't know. It's not good. And another thing, if it does have any cracks or anything like that, I mean, the thing's going to collapse like an aluminum can. It's just going to crush under that pressure. So that's not a good thing either. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert in that field. Don't claim to be. I wish them all the best, but it's not looking good. But do you think I'm right about the Sig thing, or do you think they're going to be coming out with something else? Or I think they're going to like focus on optics and stuff maybe for a little bit, and then come out with something new. You know. But yeah, that crap in Oklahoma, man, it wasn't good. That's why I wanted to get the hell out of there because yeah, I didn't know if it was going to turn into looting, people breaking into grocery stores trying to steal food, or you never know what the hell's going to happen. Um, let's see here. Oh, it was really funny. I had hang on, let's see here. Would they spend this much money if it were you or me? Not a good decision to go that far without a disaster plan. Yeah. Hello, Chris from the 740. How are you? Also, July, I think it's July 5th. I'll be doing my chat, but then I'll be going on Chris's chat. So make sure y'all tune in. I'll be on there July 5th. Um, but it was funny. I was whooping into, I was at the hotel and I was backing up. Just, I mean, I don't know if it's a truck thing or if it's a me thing or whatever, but I back into like every spot. Always have, and I'll tell you my reasoning, but I always have. But I just whipped in there, backed in, was getting my stuff out and walking. And this lady and this man were looking at me. And I was like, do I have a flat tire? Is my truck hit and I don't know it? Because they were kind of like looking at me very weirdly. And they were in a rental car. So maybe they're not, from around this area. But I got out of the truck, had my stuff in my hands. And the man was standing there looking at me and he goes, I want to ask you, he goes, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, sure. He goes, why do you back your truck in? And I was like, well, I always have, it's just easy for me. And, then I gave him my reasonings. I'll tell you all the reasoning. And he was like, oh, he goes, I just can't back a vehicle in very good. And he goes, you just shot back and it's perfect. And I was like, well, I've been doing it forever. But do y'all back your vehicles in, whether it be a car or a truck? Do you back your vehicles in or do you just pull forward into a parking spot? I was just curious. And then I'll tell you the reason why I do. Pistol Pete, whoops. Pistol Pete said he saw the 507 comp seems to be around now. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, Humble got one. He's testing it now, and he kind of gave me a little lowdown on it. Hello, Tactical Fud. How are you? Pranic says, oh, I didn't know that. Pranic says it's illegal to back in some states. I didn't know that. Maybe he's from a state where it's illegal then. Maybe that's why he was kind of being weird. Yep, here we go. Screaming Skulls has got it down. He says, be able to get out of Dodge faster. And that is part of the reason. Um, Let me get back up here. Now the chat's really flying here. My reasoning has always been yes, if you've got to get the hell out of Dodge, got to jump out, get in your truck, you can take off faster than backing up when other people are trying to back up in a panic situation or something, a disaster like what I was in before. Um, you're able to get out of there. Also, if your vehicle is going to be stolen by a wrecker, a lot of people just drive around with wreckers and steal vehicles to take them to strip them. On a rear wheel drive vehicle, it's harder. They're going to have to put dollies under it. They can't just snatch it. And I mean, they could drag it and, or get under there and disconnect your drive shaft and, or put it on dollies and all that shit. But most quick thieves aren't going to do that. So it is harder to tow it and pull it out of there than it is if it was backed in. They can grab their rear tires and they're gone. So that's another reason I do it. And plus, it's just, I mean, like I said, I've just always done it. I mean, I can back a trailer. I haven't had any of those problems. But and maybe they were like Pranic said, I didn't know that it was illegal in some states. I've never been in a state where it was illegal to back in, but maybe that's some sort of a blue state thing. I don't know. Zeus backs in. Richard backs in. My Chevette always gets backed in. Yes, bald. It's not impossible though. I had a mega cab and it was a long boy. So yeah. Brian is saying, Big J, did you ever hear or see the video about X-Ring having a heart attack? He's 51 or 52 and apparently to be in great health. Yeah, he is in good health. And yes, I did see that. And I reached out to him and told him I am so glad that he's still with us. I mean, it's just crazy nowadays, And matter of fact, Harry and I were talking about that, I mean, people in great shape, physical shape. I mean, not overweight or anything like that, and having heart attacks and issues and things like that. Um, I mean, you know, I don't know. With all the processed foods now and things like that, who the hell knows what's going on? I mean, I know people that eat super, super healthy and they've had issues. So, I mean, who knows? But yes, I'm glad, he is okay now. Yeah, Pranic, I would like to know, where is it illegal? If you do know a state that it's illegal, let me know because I've just never heard of that. Steal a Chevette, rim locks and steel wheels. Hell yeah. Got my SIG M18 back from SIG Armorer. Trigger job is absolutely worth the money. Cool, man. Northeast states. Okay. Yeah, that's funny, Zeus. Yeah, if it is illegal, it's even more fun. I was wondering that too, DC. I didn't ask. It's none of my business. I don't know that answer. Maryland. Okay. Did not know that. Harry's saying F-250s are 19 to 22 feet long. The average parking spot is only 18 feet long. Yeah. And it's not so much the length. I mean, of course, you're going to hang out. I mean, you can hang out, but, it's also the width of some of these parking spots. I know, like, in downtown Dallas and stuff like that, you can have some little skinny ass ones made for cars too that could be an issue. But I still try to back into them. And I wanted to ask this because somebody asked this of me, and I said, let me bring this up on the chat because I think this is actually a really good question. And when I was asked this, I was kind of like, you know what? I mean, I've never really brought that up. Um, Hang on one second. I never really brought that up, but I think this is a good question for everybody, and you might not have an answer. But what gun brand are you kind of completely tired of, or kind of, like whatever they do, like you're not interested in, tired of, over, I'm just kind of over that brand. If you want to say that, I'd love to hear kind of what y'all's thoughts are on that, if you have one. Um, yeah, I know, Brian. That is the first thing that I kind of thought of too, with the inflamed heart and things like that. I just, we all heard of it affecting a lot of people like that, so I don't know. Let's see here. Pistol Pete is saying Glock. Pranic is saying Glock. Brian's saying Glock. Screaming Skulls is saying Remington. We've got a Glock. We've got a Canic or Janik. Yeah, I know it's pronounced different ways. Okay, so a lot of Glocks. Um, Glock or Sig. And DC, like people wanted to know what mine was, and mine is Sig. I joke around about it earlier. If you heard me say that, they were coming out with new guns like every 2 weeks, the bi-weekly Sig is what I was calling it. There's some sarcasm there too, but there's also some honesty there too. Kind of a little over Sig. Been over Sig for quite a while. I don't have the perfect Sig really doesn't like me, um, but it's not my fault that their guns were shit and that I had problems with two of them. But and they kind of half-ass fixed one of them, and one of them, both of them were under warranty, and the second one they just said I was wrong, which I wasn't. I proved it many times, even in videos. But you know, I fixed it the way it needed to be fixed, and it worked correctly after I fixed it when it was under warranty. And anyway, then I sold it. So the only SIG I own right now is that SIG P322 personally. Just kind of over it because that's a gun, that's a brand that I was using their products and stuff like that, and it just kind of let me down. So I definitely got a bad taste in my mouth after the way that I was treated. Any gun can fail. Any gun can fail. Hell, I had my Staccato C2, the first one, the frame warped, but they took care of it. But anything can break or fail or have a problem, but it's how you handle it. It's how their customer service takes care of it. If I'm going to continue to be a customer or not. And that's just my opinion. And I'm not trying to hate on your gun if you love SIG and all that other stuff. So don't take it that way. A lot of people are saying Glock. Glock, but I still buy them anyway. Hello, Norwood. How are you? Definitely not CZ. I I personally, let me think before I say this. Yeah, I've never had a problem with the CZ. Yeah, and also, yeah, I agree with that. Well, I don't think anybody's as bad as Sig, but Glock is the worst. We know that. But yeah, CZ. You know, they have they need to come out with some new guns. We all know that. And yeah, I agree with you, Pistol Pete. Like the metal Sigs, they're cool. But the 226 have been around for a long time. I know they've kind of revamped them, done comps and things like that, which is cool. 365, yeah. Harry's had two problems with a CZ. Which CZ did you have problems with? I don't remember. I know you've had problems with SIG. I broke one of them for you, or maybe finished it off. And but that was the earlier 365s. I haven't ever had a problem with P10s or Shadow 2s or any of that. But yeah, the 365. I mean, it did change. I mean, it changed a lot of guns. Let's see here. One was dead sight vials. Yeah. The other was the Omega safety wearing out. PO7. Okay. Yeah, and I have had I've had night sights go bad. I had a factory Glock with night sights from the factory. My 19X, the sights went dead, but they changed them out. They sent me a new pair. I took them off the gun. They sent me the new pair. I asked if they wanted the old pair back. They said no, so I threw them in the trash. But the 19X sights weren't like metal metal. They were like some MIM kind of metal, or aluminum or something. And then when I got the new ones in, I just sent them to Kodo Boy and let him have them to put them on one of his Glocks. I didn't want them anymore because already had some other ones on there. Mm, what do you think of a polymer frame PO1 and optics ready? Polymer frame PO1. I mean, I know they don't make one, but well, no, they don't make one. They came out with that Phantom. It was a 75 knockoff. Uh, I mean, I like the alloy frame PO1. Um, you've got the PO7, so I don't think they'll ever do an alloy frame, or excuse me, a polymer frame PO1. Optics ready, yeah. I mean, everything should be optics ready. I agree with that, Clyde. M&Ps are reacting to the industry instead of being proactive. I totally agree with that. Yeah, you have. I've had issues with Taurus, CZ, Smith& Wesson, SIG, and Ruger. Yeah. Yeah, knock on wood for my polymer guns. I haven't had any issues with any of the CZ, P10, P10Cs, P10F. I haven't had one issues with any of those. Um, I mean, like I said, any gun can have an issue. I don't care what it is. Any gun can have an issue, but it's always how they take care of it. You know, if the hanging out's dry or they fix it and make it right and don't patch it up and shit like that. That's the way I look at it. And like I said, you could have a particular gun that you like, and that could be on you're kind of tired of, or just tired of hearing about. Also, I wanted to ask another question because I've had people say, yes, we want more, and no, we don't want more. So, I have the barbecue channel and I've been doing some cooks and stuff like that. And I've been putting some over onto the gun channel just to show people, hey, go over and check it out on the barbecue channel. But do you want me to keep them totally, totally separate? Like, don't put any barbecue stuff on the gun channel, um, to let people know that it's out there, because more people watch my gun channel than watch my barbecue channel, obviously, because it's brand new. Um, should I keep them completely separate? Don't even talk about them, whatever. Or, and then I've had some people say, oh, yeah, put it on there too. I'm not going to just make this channel a barbecue channel. That's not what the intention is. But should I not even talk about it or even advertise it on this channel? Y'all can tell me good or bad. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I would agree with that, Harry. Harry's saying M&Ps are everyone's second or third favorite striker fired gun, but very few people's first. They need to fix the marketing side. I totally agree with that. That's very well said. You know, I remember, and some people might not. I remember when it was Glocks and M&Ps. You were either a Glock guy or you were an M&P guy. That was it. I mean, that's pretty much all that was out there. And then all the rest of the stuff, all the other brands started kicking in and making a bunch of stuff too. So Floridian says put on both, no problem. Oh, Pistol Pete's cleaning the M&P as we talk about on the chat. Brannick says I'm Texan like you, Big J. Guns and barbecue go together like peas and carrots. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep, Scott, they did. Matter of fact, they have the P10C Tactical, I think, for 329 also. I think they just released that today. With the suppressor sights and the threaded barrel, I think it was 329, so that's a pretty smoking deal. Yeah, what's really funny, and even a little farther back, it was guns, barbecue, and trucks. I mean, that's what we always talked about: guns, barbecue, and trucks, and girls, of course. But we had our guns on us, we had our barbecue on us, and we were riding in our trucks. Lynn Holt says, "Well, sir, keep the barbecue separate. Promote on both channels, whatever works." Okay. Like I said, nobody's hurting my feelings. We are free to speak on my channel. I don't. I don't. Block anybody, or I mean, of course, unless you're getting stupid on the chat. Out there. M&P has been making great guns for a long time. Yeah, I mean, Smith and Wesson does make some damn good guns. Nothing wrong with them. It took them. And if you really kind of think about it, you had the M&P 2.0, excuse me, the M&P core way back when, which had suppressor sights, had an optic cut and all of that, kind of before anybody else had the optic cuts. So you had the M&P core out there forever, and it's just like then everybody started catching up, and everybody started making optic cuts and things like that, and then M&P just kind of fell off the face of the earth. I think that they would have made every gun with optic cuts like they did the core, you know, I think that would have really kind of kept them in the mix for a long, long time. Abigail, how are you? Replace the truck with muscle cars and keep the guns, barbecue, and beautiful women. Yeah. I mean, no, I love muscle cars too. Don't, I think y'all know that. Floridian said, excited to see your new sponsor for the pit stop. Yeah. Their Old Town Meat Market is, like I said, they're good people. I have, man, I've been buying meat from them forever. And the cool thing about that, just to give you a real quick history, you know, they've been in business for 40 years. Hell, I think we've been going there, our family, probably for 30 of those, if not probably 25 or 30 of those, if not maybe longer, buying meat from them. And it was owned by a family. And, but the neat thing is, a lot of those employees that worked for them, when they, you know, of course, passed and all that other stuff, they sold the business to the employees. So now for the past year, it's been employee owned. So now it's still a lot of those employees are still around. Travis has been there forever. He's the general manager, but so now it's officially been employee owned for over a year, and I think that's a really cool thing too. So they didn't just sell out to somebody, or a lot of those employees are still there, and now they're owners of that store. So that's what's cool about it. I'm strongly considering leaning or learning how to weld so I can build something fast around a crate 427. Yeah. I did MIG, TIG, stick welding. I did a bunch of that stuff back in the day, and I was actually pretty good at it. But I haven't physically welded, in it's probably been 20 years. Um, I don't even know if I could run a good bead anymore. I mean, I'm sure I could probably get back in the hang of it, but I just haven't done it in forever. Rich B said, that is your decision, in my opinion. If you post something that people don't want to see, they can just not watch it. Oh, I agree with that. You know, I mean, and I've always said, hey, if you don't like that particular video or that particular person or whatever, don't watch it. But, I was just curious if it was something, y'all were saying, oh, keep separate, or hey, do what you want, or whatever. Like I said, it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. Prentick says, I'll be checking that place out. I'm 15 minutes away. Yeah, I mean, it's a great place. It really is. And, they have other stuff than just meats. They have like pickled okra, if you like that, jalapenos. I mean, they make a really awesome relish. It's like a hot, spicy relish that they make there and can it. And they've got it for sale. They've got really good rubs. I tell you what, that's the first time I had used their in-house rub and their dry rub, and it was actually awesome. So I'm definitely a fan of it. But Smith and Wesson FPC needs to be in 5.56. I predict it will. Hell, they'll probably. I mean, then again, I keep thinking, why would they? Because they already have the M&P 2.0 Sport and stuff like that, or the M&P Sport too. So I don't know, because the two little back, where you put your 9 millimeter grips in and stuff, it couldn't hold the 5.56 mag. So I don't know. They might though. Who knows? Um, Trying to think. Oh, where I'm staying. uh, where I'm staying here in Oklahoma, right down the street. It's actually kind of funny. Right down the street. Let's see here. I'll see if y'all can see this picture. You might be able to. I'm not sure. Oh crap! I sent it to my family. I guess I already deleted it. But there is a. It says wine, beer, liquor, and weed. So it's a weed shop, but it's also a liquor shop, beer shop, wine shop, and it's open 24 hours a day. And it's just right down here, and it says beer, weed, or beer, liquor, wine, and weed. I'm just like, oh man. And then there's a river right here that runs right here, and I heard they race up and down this street right here too. But I heard some yelling and hollering yesterday afternoon when I was coming back, and I'd parked over here at the hotel, and I heard some yelling and hollering, and I thought, man, is somebody screaming in the parking lot? And I was looking out there, I couldn't see anything, and I looked over here in the river, and they've built, some of the they are what do you want to? I mean, I guess homeless people. Over here, there's a bunch of trees down this river line over here, so they built like this little forts and all these other tents and all this stuff in there. And they were all swimming in the river and hooping and hollering, and I guess two of them were fighting in the river. But yeah, so they were having some kind of a spat, little argument in the river. Yeah, and actually, I sent it Botac. Botac has 10 millimeter on sale. They also have 45 on sale. Um, they posted something today if anybody needs any of that. Oh man. Oh Hunter, meth head, gun guy, or illegal guns, and he gets the little IRS gets a little slap on the wrist. If that was any of us, they'd throw us in the pokey and throw that key away. Liquor tacos, yeah. I haven't tried. There's a place. Oh, what is it? Have y'all tried that place called Velvet Tacos? I'm seeing them pop up everywhere, and we've got them. They're in Grapevine. I mean, they've got them popping up everywhere, but I haven't tried the Velvet Tacos. A lot of people say they're good, but I haven't tried it. Get a cut and a cold one. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've bought from Botac for years. I personally haven't had any problems. I'm not saying people can't. I just haven't yet. All right, thanks for reloading. I appreciate it, man. Velvet tacos sounds dirty. Yeah, that's what it's called. White. Brannick says White people overpriced and white people tacos. That's funny. Great street tacos. There's another one. I think it's in Plano and it's called OMG Tacos. OMG Tacos, but I haven't tried them yet either. I've seen them advertising, but I haven't tried it yet. Bald said just got off the phone with X-ray and crazy stuff. Yeah, I'm glad he's okay, Bald. That was awful, man. That just goes to show, don't know, don't know when it's your time. I want a haircut and a crack pipe. Crack cuts, super crack cuts. Oh boy, man, there's some crackheads walking around down here in Oklahoma. Woo! Yes, there is. Bald, this one is a restaurant. I know what you're saying. The glass, what do they call them? Water pipes. I love it when they have those stored. These are water pipes. Yeah, we know what they're for. All right, here we go, Clyde. What is the longest shit you've made with 308? I know you meant to say longest shot I've made with the 308. The farthest I have shot, the farthest personally I've shot my 308 was at 800 yards. Um, the day that I shot his 338 Lapua at 1250, prior to that, I shot my 308 at 800 yards. So, and I mean, it was lobbing it in there in that wind. That's the farthest I've gone. I know it'll go farther. That's just the farthest I've personally shot it. um, Something else I was going to say, and I forgot what the hell it was. Oh, since we were talking about a barbecue earlier, I am going to be looking for another pit. Um, oh, and well, I'll just go ahead and say this first. I did find a problem with the new kettle, the Weber kettle. I did find a new problem. I already shot a video on it. I had done, even before the first cook with it, I found a problem with it, and I can fix it. I'm going to have to fix it myself. But it was a manufacturer's defect. Um, it should have been QC'd and caught. I had found it even prior to the first cook, but I thought once it heats and everything that it would kind of better itself, but it actually got worse. So I've got like a little 2-minute video of the screw up that Weber did and what they should have done to fix it correctly and then how to fix it correctly. So if y'all are interested in that, you can tune into that. But I am going to be looking for, there's another pit that I want. Not that I'm getting rid of the Weber or any of that. There's just something else I need that I'm going to be checking out. Yeah, DC, it's actually becoming very common for, what we were talking about earlier. Well, yeah, Bald said it. Yep. That is funny how you won't show your wife's face on your cooking channel for safety reasons. Does she have a job that she can't show herself on video? No, it's not for her. Well, it is for her safety too. But, Brian, it's just, I don't mind, talking and BSing with people and stuff like that. But when it comes to my family, um, kids, personal life, and stuff like that, I do like to keep that personal. I know some people get on there and show their whole wives and family and kids and all that other stuff, but I'm just more of a private person when it comes to that. We have been out in public with my wife, and I've been recognized. I have no problem with that. And I mean, it went perfectly fine, no issues, no problems. Um, and I mean, there's crazy people everywhere. I'm not saying everybody's crazy, don't get me wrong, and I'm not paranoid. But I just kind of like to keep some of that stuff private. it, put it this way, um, my my wife's a looker, so people would go, "What the hell's she with you for?" And my answer is always like, "I used to be good looking a long time ago." But I just I don't mean safety reasons. It's just private. I just try to keep that part of my life private. So that's it. Ball, Brian. She's smoking hot. She's afraid someone will steal her. No, I mean she is smoking hot, but yeah, I just kind of, you know, just keep stuff private. What was your 308 setup? Wanting to try some long-legged shots. Mine's a Lancer 308, L30 heavy metal. The scope on it is a Vortex AMG. What is it? It's a 24 by 44 by 50 or something. It's the only AMG they make. It's the Razor HD AMG. I just can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's a Lancer L30 heavy metal 308. Oh. Yeah, we've got a friend of ours that was born with an actual small hole in their heart. So, I mean, that stuff can definitely happen. I know I've actually had a lot of people ask me, even in the past prior to me talking about it, hey, why don't you show your wife and your family and all that stuff on video? And I'm like, why? I mean, why does everybody want to see my family? You know, I don't know. I just try to keep all that private, but you know, I guess some people do it. I guess probably because a lot of people, maybe like Demo Matt or Demolition Matt has his family on there. I guess some people think it's just hey, everybody should, but THC. No, I know for like chronic, real chronic pain for seizures and stuff like that. The THC is actually really good for that. Let's see here. Whoops. Just picked up the Genesis Arms 12 gauge. Whoa. I've seen them. I've never shot one though. But good job, man. Glad you're enjoying it. Thank you, GB. Demo Matt lost me a while back. Yeah, I mean, I've met him. Seems like a really nice guy, but like I've always said, I mean, people can do whatever they choose to do. I mean, it's a free country. That's why we live in America. You can do what you want to do. And yeah, he does have, I mean, his ranch, his house, his vet practice. I mean, now I guess he's bought a resort, abandoned a resort. I mean, he's got his hands in everything. Which backstrap do you have on your PO7, and do you have Talon grips? I run the large backstraps, I believe, on my PO7s and PO9s. Um, I have two of them that are stippled, and the other two are plain, and the other two that are plain. I tried the Talon grips. I've tried the Talon grips. There's another one called Tack grip, I believe. I've tried those, and those grips just don't work with me. I grip a gun way too hard, and I just crush it down. I've put them on correctly with the heat gun. Y'all should know me. Prepped them, prepped it, cleaned all the, the alcohol pad, put the Talon grip on correctly, even heated it with a heat gun to really mold it down. and I still peel them off. They just don't work for me because I grip guns too hard. So I prefer stippling or just leaving it alone. So and then once the grip tape comes off, then you got all that sticky shit all over it, and then it turns into a mess. So yeah, John, that's what we were talking about earlier. Um, they are selling them cheap. The rumor is they've got new guns coming out. I don't know why they don't just tell us what they are, but they're trying to blow those out before they come out with the new ones, I'm sure. Yeah, PSA has been running some really good sales. I mean, they send me reminders. I'm a whatever you call it for them. Um, I forget what you call it, but an advertiser for them. So they send me all these deals and they're like, hey, post this. And I'm just like, I don't have time to. Yeah, anytime anybody's coming out with something new, they should run sales on all the rest of the stuff to dump them out. Who does my stippling? I've had Slide Work Engineering has done some of my stippling. They had a guy called Warlock. What was the name of his company? Warlock Stippling. I've got videos. You'll have to go really far back and find them. He does a fantastic job. He used to work with Slide Work Engineering. I don't think they're together anymore, but he's right outside of Houston. And man, that guy has the patience of a saint. And he does meticulous work, and he can get any pattern you want. Um, I do not have the patience to do that. Um, so I had him do them, and he did great work. But man, I can't sit there and do all that smoothing work and everything like he does. Yes, Brian, it's an affiliate. I'm sorry. You are correct. Uh, Gideon's, it was a P10C, and hell, they even had P10Fs also for like 350, 349. Now they are not optic ready. They were some of the older ones. They did have a sale on the optic ready P10Cs and P10Fs. I think they were 399 at one time. Yeah, the optic ready ones are usually a little bit more, but I mean they are great guns, and that's a phenomenal price. And a gun that I don't really hear anything about, and if I do, it is super, super occasionally, is the P10, or excuse me, the PDP. Does anybody? And I'm not saying it's a bad gun, but have y'all been? I mean, some stuff just kind of goes out there. Everybody's shooting it, everybody's loving it, and then it just kind of whoop. And I'm just wondering, do y'all still have the PDP? You still enjoy the PDP? Not saying it's a bad gun, um, but any love for the PDP anymore? I just don't hear about it. What's up, Red Menace? How are you? PDP F looked cool. Yeah, it just has a smaller grip. I mean, me personally, I don't need a smaller grip, but I could see some people might like the smaller grip versus the standard size. I just knew that it was like the hottest thing out. Everybody was shooting and all that, and then it just kind of, I mean, occasionally there'll be a video pop up where somebody tried it. Hell, I just officially shot one. I shot Arcs guns like I don't know. I did a video on it. It was like 4 or 5 months ago. Was the first time I'd actually physically shot one. I'd finger banged it and played around with it, but oh man, some of us have little English schoolboy hands. Big J. I know, I know. Yeah, the Walther P99. It's kind of a chunky boy. It reminds me of like kind of like a Glock met a Beretta APX or something. That's kind of what it reminds me of with the chunky grip with the slide serrations. Or maybe not a Glock. What's that other gun? The Arex, the original Arex. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Makes you makes you think M&P needs business after merging with Colt. CZ merged with Colt. Had a full size PDP 4.5 snappier than any Glocks I've had. Got rid of it quick. Got a P10F. I mean, when I shot it, I thought it was. I mean, I'm not recoil sensitive, but I didn't think it had the recoil it should have. I think it's that recoil spring. It might be like extra stiff. It just didn't seem super smooth. But let's see. Lynn is saying, if not staccato, masterpiece, Atlas, and you fell out of like with those, what would you be looking at? Uh, it's a really good question. Would probably mm, Wilson Combat. I mean, their 2011s are legit. I mean, they're expensive, but they're very nice. Um, and of course, you could go into oh crap, what is it? It's like the most expensive 2011. They do custom crap. I can't even think of it. They're actually more expensive than Wilson Combat. I mean, I really like Wilson Combat. No, they're more expensive than Atlas too. Can't believe I can't think about it. They have that little Infinity make really nice guns, but they are super super expensive. Yeah, Nighthawk is good too. The Nighthawk is, I guess, honestly, probably a Nighthawk over a Dan Wesson for me, or excuse me, over a Wilson Combat. It would probably be that Nighthawk. That Desert Tan 2011 is pretty sweet with the comp. Woo! What is the best all-around gun manufacturer? Don't say Glock. Phew, man, I mean, it really depends on where you're going. Polymer, alloy, steel. I mean, there's a bunch of great guns out there, great gun manufacturers. I mean, I really like CZ. Um, to say there's a best all around, I mean, M&P, it makes good guns, very, very reliable. Um, other than a 2011, I would probably say CZ. I mean, honestly, for me, but whatever you choose is not a bad thing either. Yeah, I agree with Abigail. I mean, pistol or rifle. I mean, there's a lot of variables there. Cabot's are nice, super expensive, but they are nice guns. Yeah, Dan Wessons are super nice. Um, I mean, like I've said numerous times, um, they're super hard to beat. Dan Wessons are. Ooh, rifle, handguns, and shotguns. Okay, I'll do this. Rifle, I really like Lancer. I mean, they're expensive, but I like Lancer. But there's so many rifle brands out there that make really good quality stuff. BCM's pretty good. I know a lot of people like Daniel Defense. Um, you know, I mean, I'm not married to Daniel Defense by any means. Handguns, I'd say CZ, and then shotguns, I would go Mossberg, or Benelli. I mean, for sure. But for me, it would be Mossberg strictly because of the safety. I don't like the other safeties, the little push button safeties. Those just don't work for me. And I mean, I really like Staccato. I really like Masterpiece arms, but they're just not, kind of for shit hit the fan stuff. How is CZP09 duty better than the 10? I mean, you're dealing with double action, single action, and then striker fire. For double action, single action, the P09 is really, really hard to beat. And then your P10, would be your single or your striker fire, not single action. I don't know why I said that. I meant striker fire. Um, but I think whichever works for you. If you want single action, double action, I mean, for a polymer, the P09, P07 is really, really hard to beat. Honest Outlaw is giving away the absolutely amazing. Yeah, he's giving away that Atlas, I believe. Taylor Brown said, "Love the steak vids." Yeah, that 30-day whiskey aged ribeye was unbelievable. Thing was freaking unbelievable. Dale's seasonings. I've never used Dale's. I definitely like to put the dry rub on the steaks and the meats and things like that. Matter of fact, I have a new optic in that I just received, and I have already mounted on a gun, and already kind of started playing with it. And so far, I'm not going to say which one it is yet. You'll probably see a post soon, so check the community tab. But I'll throw a post up on it, and just say testing begins. I've already started playing with it, but I'll throw a post up on it if y'all want to see it. But it's an interesting optic. I will say that. When you see it, you'll be like, "Whoa, what the hell is that?" Because it's definitely different, but seems pretty good. Yeah, he had an Atlas on there. SPO1 or PO7, honestly, for me, PO7. And I mean, you're dealing with an, steel gun or aluminum gun versus a polymer, but PO7 honestly is better in my opinion. And I know people say SPO1. I don't like the hooked trigger, but yes, you can change that. PO1 or PO7 for me, PO7. Just because I can get my full grip on it. I can't get the full grip on the PO1. PO1 is an amazing gun. Amazing gun, just not for me for my hand size. Fina. Fina. Yes, I love 22. I have tons of 22. I have, gosh, like 5 22 pistols and probably 3 or 4 22 rifles. Yeah, I absolutely love 22. It's super fun. That's a good price for the PO9 $499. I've seen them in gun stores much, much higher. Supposedly, and I heard this, I don't know if it's true, they said they're going to be discontinuing the PO9. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. Do I have a choice of gun to shoot 22 LR? I really enjoy my Smith & Wesson 1522 because it can help you train on your AR platform on the cheap, and it's super reliable and it's actually super accurate too. I have conversion kits for my AR-15s to run 22 conversions in them. For me, that thing is not. For one, it's not that accurate because you're dealing with a different twist rate that 22 is better for. As far as my favorite 22, probably my Taurus with all the tandem cross parts on it, my Taurus 22 competition. And the SIG P322 for me has actually been a pretty good gun. So I'd say those are probably my two favorite pistols. And then for my rifle, my B22 Performance Savage is super, super accurate. And then my 1522. SP01 and P09. Um, on that one, I would still probably choose the P09 for me. Nothing against the SP01, it's a great gun. Would parts still be available for the P09? They should be. I would think, if you're going to discontinue a gun, you usually salvage a bunch of parts and keep them, um, at least for like 5 to 7 years anyway. That would be my guess. I can't speak for them though. But that is why the guns that I really like, I have two of the same guns. So I can have like one for a parts gun and one for another gun. Like I've got two P07s, two P09s, two P10Cs, two staccatos, two MPAs, things like that. Yeah, 455 and 457s are good. CZs are good rifles. But it is 8:06. We will go ahead and shut this down. I'm just letting you know next Wednesday, I will probably not be having a chat. I've got a sales meeting that I have to attend in a different state, different time zone. We have to do dinners and all that kind of. I'll be attending those in the evenings. So I probably will not have a chat. Don't. I'll post it either way, but I'm probably not going to be depending on the chat. So I just wanted to let y'all know in case, but I will post it so everyone knows for sure. But I appreciate everyone being on. Save the Queen. Oh, man. Oh, Biden. Oh, Biden, Biden. Let's see here. Big J, if you ever go to New York City, you must eat at Peter Luger's. They age their own steaks from cuts of beef. They select the beef markets themselves. Easy menu: steak for two, steak for 4, 6. Okay. Well, I mean, if I ever went there, I would try it. But to be honest with you, I have no plans to ever go there. But you know, it. If I ever catch myself there, I would definitely love to try it. Best gun oil, man. There's great gun oil. I really like Lucas gun oil. I've been using it for a long time. I understand gun butter's really good. I have a sample of it. I just haven't used it yet. I've got a lot of time behind the Lucas gun oil, and it's worked great for me, the blue. But I'm sure there's tons and tons that are out there that are great. But yeah, I'm dodging the twisters. It was looking really bad here today in Oklahoma City, but luckily we just had a little rain and it cleared up. But I was like, crap, it looked like tornado weather and shit was blowing everywhere. And I was like, here we go. But knock on wood, we didn't have it. But all right, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Love one another, love your family, and y'all be safe out there. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Take care, everyone.